Alright. Hey guys, what's going on? Yes, and we got some Yu-Gi-Oh! Back. I know we had a little bit of dry spell with the Pokemon stuff, but honestly, I just really haven't been feeling Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Lately. Especially since the last time I played, it was Teams format. I don't know if I told you about this, guys, yet. But the first turn in Teams is 2v2. The first turn lasted, and this was just main phase 1, 30 minutes between three players. And the reason why I say three players because the first person or the first player was playing heroes played for like about at max 5 minutes of that turn, which is stupid. But yeah. Anyways, that's enough rambling on about how bad Yu-Gi-Oh is. You guys hear enough of it already. Let's go ahead and get into Fun Deck, which is tier PK, plus Bisteel, plus Swamp, plus tier or Ishichu. Anyways, that's besides the point. Let's go ahead and get into the deck. One thing there is, I'm missing only three cards, so right now it's just a kind of fun thing, and I'll tell you what those are when we get to them. But for now, I'm really liking my line for PKs for this build, which is two of the main monsters, which is two boots, two gloves, or sorry, wow, two cloak, two boots, and two um, torn scales. The only thing I would probably change here, if I really wanted to, was add a third of this. Because in case you guys don't know, he discards to send for cost to send one of these to grave, or I forgot to bring out one of your fog blades. Um, and if you send a Shishu card from hand, you get to send, but you also get the mill effect since they don't need to send for cost. So he's a pretty good starter actually. And they're all Dark Warriors, so they can be mixed with the tiers to go into Mud Dragon, so they have that too. Um, Boot specials if you control another PK, and banishes itself from the graveyard to add this, and he adds this, banishing himself from the graveyard. Or what comes up is he switches to defense and targets a monster, the Dark, and he gains 800. Fogblade actually protects you. You can target a monster on field, negate its effects, can't attack or be attacked, and you can banish it from your graveyard. And uh, target a PK engrave and special summon it, which comes up with Break Sword and Brigadine on your opponent's turn. But that is the PK lineup. Like I said, the only thing I would change is probably add a third Torn Scales if you wanted, but I really like where it's at now. For tiers, we got 3 Happiness, 3 Merly, and 2 Scream. We're not running a big tier thing, and obviously I don't have Sheeran. I really need to get Sheeran, and that's the only thing I would change. I wouldn't run Rhino Heart in here because I'd rather run Queen in the Swamp because it can be used for other things as well, like adding Poly or Fusion Substitute to get that. And Rhino Heart doesn't really do anything because I'd probably rather normal summon the Torn Scales over there. But yeah, of course, just need Sharon, and then you're pretty much good there. To be honest, I'd probably just add the Sharon to play 43. It doesn't really matter with how consistent these decks are now. Next up, we got our Bisteel engine, which for me is going to be 2 Magma and 3 Druid's Worm. I used to run 2 and 2 of the other super. I can't think of his name right now, but these are the better ones. Magmamut's obviously the best. I only run 2 because I can't find more of it, and I don't want to spend the money on it either because I can find more. I just don't want to buy it. But this card, of course, both of them targets a lighter dark in opponent's grave, banishes it, and it's quick effect if your opponent controls a monster. And this one, when you summon it, you can activate to add any dragon on end phase, and this one, when sent to graveyard, destroy a special summon on the field. Or I believe it's actually, yeah, it actually sends it to graveyard, which is stupid. But yeah. Then we got another engine, which is 2 King, 1 Fusion Substitute, and 1 Polymerization, just because sometimes you can actually use these. Sometimes hard poly makes a difference. And in teams, especially when I play this a lot, because that's where we're at, him in the graveyard to add these is pretty good. Because if you brick and you draw him, at least you can get him in the graveyard for your teammate to use on your fusion summon, since they can use your graveyard. At least for the format we play, but that doesn't really matter to most people. Then for our Shishu line, we got 2 Akido and 3 of Kelbeck, our Millers, Mill 5. This guy's pretty good actually with his in-hand effect too as well. Then I got 3 Medora, which actually has a really good, and 3 of the other Shuffler, and we'll go and throw 1 exchange with the Spirits. This is my Shishu line. This guy discards the card, and then you can like special summon him in and search for a card that mentions Gravekeeper's Trap, or and then place a Gravekeeper's Trap from your deck face up spell and trap zone, which is really good. This one adds a Gravekeeper's monster or exchange of spirit card and mentions it. So this card's really good if you play Gravekeeper's Trap, but I don't. But of course, shuffle 10 between the 2 of them if you have this in graveyard. It's just too good in the mirror match, or more so other tier Ishishu matchup that's not this weird version. And then for some power spells, got 1 reinforcement just to add your main guy, 1 instant fusion, or your Torn Scale, sorry, 1 instant fusion to summon your baby girl Kikalos, and 3 copies of Super Poly because it's absolutely also stupid in the mirror match. Going second, it can save you going second, honestly. If you go first, you're usually going to win unless they have a Super Poly and no backup. Then we'll go ahead and get into the extra deck. I don't have a side deck built for it yet. Got 1 Kikalos, 1 Rudilukalos, and 1 Kaleido Heart. One thing I change is I might add a 3rd Kikalos, but it doesn't really, or a 2nd, it doesn't really come up. Rhino Heart on summon, of course, does Rhino Heart things, shuffles a card, or bounces a card. Rukalos is Nibiru protection by sending herself and special summons herself. That's once per turn. Because if she's sent to the graveyard, she gets special summon herself. Kaleido does the same thing, but you have to send a tier from hand or deck, which is better. And the Kikalos searches on summon, and then 1 is sent to graveyard by card effect mills 5, and it can target a tier on field, switch it with 1 in hand or grave, or any card on field monster. Really good. We all know what they do. I got 1 Starving Venom fusion just for the 2 dark monsters on the field if you can't go into Dracostelia, which is the obvious better one, which is fusion and a dark. Then we got 1 Mud Dragon in the swamp. If you can make it going first against the tier matchup, it's pretty good since Kikalos can't target herself if you change him to dark, since you can't target cards with the same attribute as him and his quick effect. Got 1 Gudra, Wings of Resonant Life, just for, once again, Super Poly target along with these, pretty much all of them. But yeah, that's it for the fusions, only the basics, which you need. Now we got Xyzarexes, which is 1 copy of Breaksword. Breaksword comes up in really handy, especially with your Linked 3 Bardiche. And the reason being is because Bardiche will destroy him, and then he summons 2 of the PKs that used him as material, is level 4. So you can go ahead and get into Abyss Dweller. Breaksword also detaches the material of the target card you control and card your opponent controls and destroys both of them. So Bardiche can actually destroy any card on field, so if you need to get rid of 2 cards, you can do that with him going second. Abyss Dweller shuts off graveyard activated effects for your opponents. This guy, really a different card, but like you can summon him sometimes with your Bystials and if you steal your opponents. So you can either detach up to 2 materials from him to target a card in the graveyard, and if you returned 1 or detach 1, you can return it to the deck. 2, if it's a monster, special summon it in face up or face down defense position to your field. If not, set it on your field. So pretty good. It is a quick effect as well. Then we gotta go ahead and go for Dark, which targets 2 Darks and usually targets your Bystial. They're Bystial Magnemite, so you can add your Bystial on end phase, but also you just go ahead and link off into Bardiche, and Bardiche gets your plays going. A cool thing about this deck, if your tier line gets interrupted, you can always just go for the Bardiche. And since they're the PK line, and for those who don't know, Bardiche sends PK from deck to set PK spell traps, so you can get Fog Blade on board instantly, and it sends the missing PK into your grave. Which, funnily enough, you get to activate that a lot. But yeah, pretty cool there. Then we got, for cards that, and the reason why these versions decent is because Nibiru's not really in the format anymore. Then you got Arc Rebellion XYZ Dragon, and your Raiders Knight off of Breaksword into Arc Rebellion. gets you some game endings if you're going second, so that's why I keep them in here. And then one of the cards you can switch out for really anything is Cherubini. I just don't know what to switch out yet, or what to put in yet. So yeah, that is the build of this deck. Like I said, very different kind of style deck. I don't know how different it is. I've only seen like one profile of it, but this is way different from the others since it was a long time ago, and I really like this deck. Actually, it's fun. So if you want to have fun in Yu-Gi-Oh! But still play a meta deck, here's your option because it's pretty hard to have fun right now. But yeah, see you guys.